Akashvani. Time for a weekly program, Our Guest. I hand over the mic to the show host for the same.
In our guest, we have a wayfarer, a poet, a lecturer in a leading women's college in India, ex-senior editor in one of the largest academic and university presses of the world, a musician, and a former AIR Delhi RJ. Welcome to the studios of All India Radio, Brian Mendonca.
Thank you, Naveen. Pleasure to be here.
Brian, you are a Goan. You came to Delhi, stayed here for about a decade or so, and then went back again to Goa. How was your time in Delhi?
I think it was full of challenges.
Okay.
This was a new city, but it also held the promise of a new dream. And I'm so glad that I lived with it. I sweated in its heat and I basked in its sunlight. And out of the core experiences of heat and dust, the poems were born.
Well, your third book, The Jasmine City, is a collection of poems on Delhi. Prior to this, you have written two other books. Can you tell us about them?
The first book was Last Bus to Vasco, Poems from Goa, because I wanted a volume which, would anchor me within my home state and my home canvas. The next one was A Piece of India, Poems in Transit, where I kind of spread my wings and wrote about all the places and states I had visited in India while I was in Delhi.
Well, I introduced you as a wayfarer. Tell me the most remote place you visited in India.
Dumka.
Dumka. Where is this?
Jharkhand.
Can you tell us about some memories of Dumka?
Yeah, I was kind of traveling and then the bus dropped me over there in the middle of the night. And after that, somebody came and picked me up.
Not a very nice way to know a place, huh?
Yeah.
Middle of night.
Yeah. Then somebody came and picked me up. And then the next morning, she asked me, so what were you doing there at that time? It is infested with, people who do all kinds of things.
Well, be more straight Naxals.
So I said, yeah, but I didn't think of it that way.
You lived in a Barsati at Sheikh Sarai.
Yes.
You worked in an office at YMCA.
Yes.
And you used to just hop across to All India Radio Delhi to give your classical showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you manage all that?
I think it's because I was single and, the Barsati makes you feel you're like a bird and you can hop on any tree that you want. And I was living my life on my own terms. I was earning and I felt I had to give something back to the city. And I think, a whole portfolio of activities which I was so totally, immersed in.
You must have loved adventure a little too much because a Barsati in Delhi summer can be a frying pan.
It is, but it's also cheap.
Okay, all right.
Use the money to travel.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I forgot your main aim was to travel.
Yeah,
and right
I was just existing.
Yes, truly. So how did your employers give you so much leave to travel?
They didn't. We had a 5-day week.
Okay, so you used to travel over the weekends?
Yes.
You went to Dumka on a weekend?
Yes. And I went to Kerala on a weekend. I flew in just for a poem and flew out.
So for a poem, you invested something like 30,000 rupees?
Not that much, 20. I flew and I think I got trained back because I wasn't that rich. But that flight was horribly expensive.
I wish everyone had this kind of passion, But everyone will be having burnt pockets. You were also a blogger. You love blogging. And in fact, your blog is also named after your first book.
Yes.
Last Bus to Vasco. Little surprised that first your blog came or first your book came?
The blog came.
And you borrowed the title of the blog for the book?
Yeah. No, I'm so sorry. It is the other way around.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the last.
Tell me something, Brian. You come from a state which is known for its beauty, scenic beauty as well as its marine beauty. People go to Goa to have holiday.
Yeah.
They're leaving Delhi to settle there because of the great amount of pollution we have in Delhi.
Yes.
And you are a crazy Goan who comes to Delhi to live a decade in Delhi?
Sometimes, when you have everything you need, that's not enough. You have to discover something more. It's like Tyagaraja, leaving the city when the Tyagaraja festival is on. Somebody was asking him, what are you doing? You don't know the Tyagaraja festival is on? So he said, yeah, I know. So he said, who are you? I'm Tyagaraja. So you've already kind of, figured out what Goa is. And I think that level of challenge, that beauty, that unexpectedness is what I was looking for. If you like, the risk.
Well, I love Goa, but I can't leave Delhi, so I agree with you. You were working as a senior editor with this big publishing firm. You're also strumming guitar and giving tuitions to students.
Yes.
And you were coming to All India Radio as an announcer and a presenter of the classical music program.
Yes.
Where did it leave time for other pursuits in life?
It depends what you mean by other.
Well, where did it leave time for films or, say, seeking out other friends?
Actually, a lot of my friends were as insane as me.
Okay.
So we did all the things together.
Okay.
And sometimes when I wanted to travel and there were no friends, I did it on my own. But I think art is an accretion of the beautiful around you. And I was always doing that. If it was a film, if it was a play, or if it was a poem or a mehfil, it was always part of me. I didn't have to keep, aside time for it. I would make time for it in the evenings, for example.
You've gone to poetic symposiums. You have read out your poems live.
Many.
Tell us about the most challenging one.
Actually, now I'm a little more comfortable with my poetry because I have managed to tap the audience in a way they can respond.
You mean you have learned the nuances?
Yes. Because my kind of poetry is not something that is always easily accessible. And it's very impressionistic.
Okay.
You see, so nobody is going to know why I put one line after another. But I think there is.
You should write some easy poetry for dense people like me also.
The first book had a lot of
Poetry for dense people?
No, it had a lot of notes.
Okay.
Lot of notes.
Okay.
The second book didn't have many, and this one had hardly any.
Hardly any.
Yeah.
So your third book, your latest book, is most difficult to read.
It is not difficult. It is simple, straightforward.
You
like
have
Jasmine City.
you have a poem on one of your biggest love, which is the great All India Radio.
Yes,
Which reaches out to 98% of India.
definitely.
So why don't you read that poem,
Yes.
which is an ode to All India Radio?
Okay, I've always loved working with All India Radio, especially because for me it nurtures the values of diversity and serenity, which India stands for. So I wrote this poem actually sitting in this same building where we are recording,
Oh wow.
Akashvani Bhavan, and I was concerned about what was happening in the country, and I felt a lot of peace, or I feel a lot of peace when I listen to that opening signature tune by Bismillah Khan, which opens the
Ustad Bismillah Khan.
Ustad Bismillah Khan, which opens the morning transmission. So I used to do those morning shifts at some point. So I was sitting in the studio, and then these lines came to me. So this was in a moment of repose. It's called Bhairavi. India awakes to Bismillah Khan as the Shehnai subsumes the pain of the nation. Notes quiver towards refuge unyielding as Bairagi laments the stench of burnt flesh. Dagger to the soul, virgins disemboweled. Lagta hai, abhi bhi kuch zinda hai is desh mein.
Oh, okay. The last line is very poignant.
Yes.
And are all your poems this dark?
Cerebral, yeah.
Or you
This-
write about joys of life also?
This was written in 2002, so that needs no explanation why it was written. I am otherwise quite a sensitive poet, and I write about various other.
Read us something from the nature, your books, and some of them have great poetry on nature.
Okay, I would like. This is about a darkness. But okay, since you don't want dark poems, I will try to look at.
Is it about nature?
It is about darkness.
Go ahead.
It's called darkness because it envelops us, and we opened this conversation speaking about light and darkness. I used to love the weather of Delhi and the fog, especially.
Like I said, you're a crazy woman.
Yeah. The moving fog at dusk kisses the rooftops, smiting the firstborn. The gibbous moon preens itself in the gaze of the hapless. As I stand, my shadow hunches over the day's epitaph. So it's a reference from the Bible and Exodus 11. And the dusk is like the finger of God moving.
I forgot to mention that you were also singing in the choir, right?
I sing in many choirs.
Or you sing in many choirs?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
used
still singing in Goa?
No, not really.
And how was the transition from Delhi to Goa again? You lived here for a decade.
Yeah.
You almost become a Delhi wala.
Yes.
And then suddenly you have to go to Goa again because you got your job there in the prestigious Carmel College for Women.
Yes.
As a lecturer.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And you were going to teach English literature.
Yes.
Something that you did your PhD in.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
I was so happy to be home again. More so because Dad called us to stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't very much time for Dad, but we did stay for all the years that he had left. And I
Was
never.
he suffering from some illness?
He was not well. So we did what we could for him, and they were the most wonderful years. So we were very busy with Dad during that time. Secondly, I was not coming as the same person that left Goa, because I was coming as a married person with my family and with my child doing.
Yeah, right.
तो उसमें तो बहुत बड़ा फर्क है. To go single and come with family. So the priorities are different, the urgencies are different, and I loved every moment of it. But I love to transit between my bachelorhood and my family life. So it brings out different colors of me.
Did you miss Delhi in Goa?
That's why I'm here.
Okay. No, I'm not saying... You have to come to Delhi to tell me that you miss Delhi. And you can tell me that initially did you miss Delhi when you had, during that period of transition?
I have always been pining for Delhi because I have found love here. Sometimes I look at Delhi as a metaphor of my life, and when I write poetry, I remember certain images of Delhi even though I'm writing in Goa. Can I read a poem?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's called The Shadow of the Alcove.
Okay.
This is a poem which, concludes this collection. It was written very recently in 2020.
Okay.
Whereas the first poem was written in 1998.
Oh, wow.
तो बात ये है कि the track of Delhi is always in my mind. It's a kind of a subtext. And I was really surprised when I wrote this poem, and I was feeling very low. And I wanted to come back to Delhi and sleep in Lodi Garden.
Oh, wow.
So that was like a...
People go for a walk in Lodi Garden, you wanted to sleep there?
Yeah, it's because it's like a womb.
Okay.
It's kind of, Delhi is a necropolis, and death is the final resting place. So I said, why don't I... Iska ek jhalak pehle hi dekh lete.
You remind me of Himachal Pradesh.
Huh.
I was in Shimla, and when I used to take a walk from, the Viceregal Lodge to AIR, Shimla,
Yes.
I always used to see these tall pine trees, and
Yes.
a little toy train used to go choo 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 around the track.
Okay.
And I would feel that this is a place to die.
Absolutely.
Underneath a pine tree, reading a book,
Bas.
and you just pass away.
Yeah.
So you felt the same way about Lodi Garden.
There's one thing that I would like to share is that, the connotation of a tomb is sometimes, like a place that where everything ends. But you can also look at a tomb as something that is actually presaging your future. It's a prophecy that is where you will reach. It is not in the past, it's in the future. And this poem is called Shadow of the Alcove.
All right.
Let me just lie down in your alcove. Sikandar Lodi, Khani Khanum, or Zinat ul Masajid. The spectacle of the past drowns out the din of today. For tomorrow, today will also be your tomb. Thank you.
Ooh. Deep.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, it's been lovely talking with you, conversing with you this morning, hearing your poems. And what better way to, herald your book than to say that All India Radio is a place where unity in diversity is there.
Absolutely.
I'm a Delhiite.
Absolutely.
The producer of the show is from Jammu.
Wow.
And you're from Goa.
Yes.
And this is what All India Radio is about. Thank you, Brian Mendonca.
Thank you. Thank you very much, All India Radio.
You were listening to the weekly program Our Guest that is broadcast every Monday at 9:15 a.m. Don't forget to tune in next week, same day, same time and same frequency for more on Our Guest. Have a nice day.